So Bandai Tamashii Nations just showed off new images of the SH Figuarts Orochimaru Seeker of Immortality. They've been teasing this for a little while now, a little too long if you ask me, but I do think that what we finally have seen here is worth the wait. This is such a nice looking figure. They showed it off on their live stream earlier. That I did miss that, but they did post the images shortly after. So the information really quick in terms of, the release date and all that. It's going to be around October of this year. It's supposed to be around 7,700 yen. So that's actually really expensive already because, I haven't converted yet, but that's close to like 75, maybe more than that after you include the shipping and tax on this thing, and depending on where you pre-order this. And it also the pre-orders will be opening on June 1st next week. So that is exciting to see. This is such a nice looking figure. I'm really digging it. I really like this first image that we've been looking at really quick. All that great new sculpting is really sick. I feel like that stomach articulation might be a little worrisome, actually. I have a feeling it might not be as good as what's being shown here. In fact, I don't really know if what's being shown here is all that good. It could be better once it's released, and it could just be full of crap. But we'll wait and see. That snake arm accessory, though, is fantastic. And I also really like the faceplate that's being shown off here. We're going to see it a couple times in some of these images. So here's the other image right here I wanted to show off. This is a really nice looking more of like a running action pose. Really good looking stuff here. We have a hand sign right there. The hair piece does flow back there. That's one thing that we'll keep seeing. We'll see these images, and I have a feeling that this hair piece might look a little distracting. It looks like it's kind of flowing outward a little too much, but that's probably supposed to help with posing the head up, as well as I think this might actually be articulated. So there's that. One other thing I do want to mention that is a bit of a concern. That back tie piece, I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what it's supposed to be called, but the tie that goes around his belt and, it tapes, it's wrapped up in the back there. That is a very large piece. I'm wondering if that's back heavy and top heavy and all that. I'm wondering how well that's going to pose. I'm sure it's going to have some articulation, but I'm wondering if it's going to be too heavy as well. Other than that, the different posing that you can get out of this figure based on this one image here is really sick looking. Here is another image here, and you can kind of see that hair piece a little bit better. You can kind of see what I mean. It just sticks out a lot towards the back. I wonder if there's, separate hair pieces from some of these images I've seen. I don't really know if there is, but if there's a separate hair piece, then maybe you can look like it's sitting down more, but I don't think there is an extra hair piece involved. But we do have these flat hands posing right here. This is more of like a crouched fighting pose here. One other thing I think is not really a concern, but I've noticed, I think it's not really a skirt piece, but the piece that drapes towards the waist there, that looks like a soft plastic piece. I'm wondering if that is going to hinder articulation at all. I wonder if it's going to be easy enough to move around to where it's not going to get in the way of articulation, because some of these figures that have these like skirt pieces from SH Figuarts lately, they've had some pretty soft plastic to where you can still pose them around pretty well, but I do see people pretty much asking for more soft goods instead. So I'm wondering if that's going to be another case here, because that looks a lot harder to remove if someone wanted to replace that with soft goods. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Here is an image of Orochimaru with a different faceplate. Here we've been seeing it more with like an open face. This is more of just like a closed mouth grin. This is really nice looking, standing next to the Sasuke that we had released last year, which, and I think the Sasuke is already a little too short, but it makes sense that Orochimaru is going to be taller. He's a pretty tall character. This looks really fantastic, and seeing Orochimaru, it really makes me want them to do what they did with the Madara figure last year for Comic-Con with Jiraiya. From what I never got to own it, but from what I've seen, that Jiraiya figure is already so good that was previously released from SH Figuarts that they don't really need to update it. So updated colors, like premium colors for a con exclusive, I would welcome that, honestly. I'm sure they could also just decide to retool the entire figure, but I think it would just make sense for them to release a premium Bandai Comic-Con version. I personally would not mind that, because I didn't mind that they did that with Madara, because that figure is already pretty nice as well. And that I'm hoping that this means we will get Tsunade, so that way we will have all 3 of the Sannin finally. So who knows? Also, I'm just a simp, so there's that. There is also this image right here with the tongue sticking out. That is fantastic looking. Look at that. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see the eyes with that hairpiece, but you can see just how well those eyes are printed, as well as that tongue, the way that is sculpted, sticking out, looking really great. Not to mention, though, because I've been panning downward on these images, the sword that this comes with looks really sick. I'm pretty sure you'll have to remove the pommel, and then you'll have to just slip it through that one hand there. And then, that's kind of like what they did with Trunks recently. But that is a really nice looking sword. I'm really digging that. I'm wondering if if it's just one-handed. I don't remember actually seeing the sword for now. From what I've seen in Naruto, I'm still I'm like halfway through the original series, so we may not have gotten to this part yet. But that sword is really, really good looking, I think. And everything else about this, it's just a really good looking figure. I don't know what else to say. They did such a good job with some of the tooling, and I know some people can say that they over-engineer these figures sometimes, but this doesn't look over-engineered at all. Maybe in the butterfly joints, but that's about it. It's just such a nice looking piece. Last but not least, this is going to come with an extra cursed seal faceplate for the younger Sasuke that's supposed to be coming out in like 2 months. So that's cool to see. I don't mind that we're going to get that faceplate. It makes sense for a character like Orochimaru to come with an accessory like that because of what he did to Sasuke. And I guess this is arms crossed accessory. Yeah, it looks like an arms crossed accessory. I had to look for the joints, but that is an arms crossed accessory for Orochimaru. That looks really sick. So for my understanding, unless they just didn't show off everything, 3 different face plates, a bunch of different hands I can't mention right now, arms crossed accessory, and a sword. So I don't think there's going to be extra hair pieces. I don't really... Who knows? These images may have made that hairpiece look a little too long flowing, and then once the final figure comes out, or if they show it off a little bit more, then I could swallow my words, because it could look pretty good. And this is a really low quality image because people were zooming in on this based on this screen grab that I have. But as you can see here, this is how it looks in person, and that hairpiece doesn't look like it's too long flowing in the back, actually. And, standing upright, this is a really nice looking piece. I'm really digging what they have shown off. I'm really hoping they can make some more characters. I would like to see an updated Rock Lee. I know there's a lot of different characters that might not be as prominent in the show as others, so they probably won't get to those. Okay, I really want a Shikamaru. That character is really underrated, but I have a feeling they are also going to commit too much to making, more Naruto's and Sasuke's. We need different characters than just Naruto's and Sasuke's. I know they're like the main characters of the series, and they want, Tamashii Nations wants the cash flow to keep going, but if they were smart, they would make some more unique characters, if you ask me. But the amount of announcements that we've had for this particular line here are a little too sparse, so we'll just have to wait and see and hopefully be patient, and our patience will hopefully be rewarded. Until then, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. What you think about the figure here, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys later.